Sir Julius wants landowners to have ownership of resources. 300 Tolokoma mine workers to be paid final entitlements. And Capital Rugby Union starts Sevens Challenge.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartulo.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. This is Saturday's news. One of PNG's founding fathers says time has changed and the country must move forward. New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan says ownership of resources must be given back to landowners. Sir Julius wants drastic changes in government administration.
Papua New Guinea has come a long way after gaining independence in 1975. Founding father and New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan says the thinking capability of people has reached new heights and leaders must think of innovative ways to take the country into the next 40 years.
At independence, we were dealing with a different group of people, fairly uneducated, very unsophisticated.
Governor Chen said the future cannot be predicted with developments taking place, but giving ownership to resource owners and prudent government mechanisms are sound traits people will accept and move forward.
Our new generation of people are educated, and when they begin to know that they are not being fairly treated, however big or small, they will not tolerate it.
Said Julius is imminent. People will move forward and accept changes only when they control what belongs to them. He said people cannot be fooled as knowledge increases.
Let us be a little bit more forward in our thinking.
Jack Lapave, Junior National EMTV News.
Final entitlements for over 300 mine workers from Tolokoma Gold Mine in the Goilala district of Central Province are expected to be paid out beginning Monday. This is according to the management of Tolokoma Gold Mine. According to the mine CEO, Sam Nguba, the decision to close down the mine by the Board of Petromin was because it was too costly to continue operating the mine.
It was a costly exercise to operate and maintain Tolokoma Gold Mine, given the fact that there is no road access to the mine site and all mining materials, equipment, including staff, are airlifted day in, day out. In a month, the company spends 6 million kina to upkeep the mine. The fall in gold prices in the global market also resulted in the decision to shut the mine. Mr. Nguba said the parent company of Tolokoma Gold Mine, Petromin Holdings, has approved the redundancy exercise payout, which will be given out starting Monday week. Currently, all production at Tolokoma Gold Mine has stopped, with only a skeleton staff to see through the care and maintenance phase of the mine, while Petromin Holdings attempts to find a credible investor to operate the mine again. Bridget Comatap, National EMTV News.
Opposition leader Don Polya has welcomed the 400-year-old King James Version Bible into the country. Polya says it is timely we revisit the country's constitution through seeking guidance from the Holy Word. However, Mr. Polya warns the government not to corrupt functions of the church.
The arrival of the 401-year-old King James Version Bible has reached widespread attention in the country. Opposition leader Don Polya welcomed the idea but says politics must not interfere with church. Upon its arrival this week in Port Moresby, Speaker Theo Zirono called on for spiritual reconnection to fundamental beliefs of the country.
You will find that the Bible is the only source that contains those values more than any other faith document.
But the opposition leader said the government must not infiltrate churches to gain power and favor. Polya says the church and government must operate with a better understanding and boundary drawn between them.
The church should be kept separate from the politics. We must not mingle them. It's a very, very important institution, must not be corrupted by politics, must not have its purity. The purity of the church should not be mixed with the politics and those that are secular. The church must remain spiritual all the time.
Meanwhile, Mr. Polya said the opposition is ready to discuss with the government, the Speaker of Parliament and churches where to keep the King James Bible.
We will trust and support his leadership to talk to both the government and the opposition to address that issue as to where we keep the Bible. I think it's not a bad idea.
The Bible is said to visit other provinces in the country in the coming weeks. Jagla Power Jr. National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. We'll have more stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Alotau District aims to be a leader in the accountability of DSIP funds. National Planning Minister and Member for Alotau, Charles Abel, made these remarks when presenting DSIP acquittals to the Department of Implementation and Rural Development. The acquittals were for the year 2014. According to Minister Abel, Alotau District has been fortunate enough to have completed its acquittals in a timely manner, largely due to the cooperation from all levels of government within the district.
Happy that our good presidents are participating in the process, and we work together in Milne Bay, we work together in Alotau District, and we are able to get things done because of the teamwork down there. So it's the presidents together with the administration, led by a good district administrator and the team behind him. And so even though a lot of money is going down to some of our districts, including Alotau, we still have to report back and acquit that money and follow procedures and be transparent.
The acquittals cover the priority areas, including education, health, infrastructure, and law and order, among others. And Alotau District has been strict in ensuring that all funds have been accounted for to enable these projects to be successfully implemented. Secretary for Department of District Implementation and Rural Development, Paul Sai, has commended Alotau District and has encouraged other districts around the country to follow the example set by Alotau.
The slow coming in, and there's about 8 districts have appointed, the 14 was SIP or DSIP, and I think it's about 3 or 4 LLGs. Provinces, PSIP yet to come in, but it'll take time to bring them. It's only the end of the quarter, and we expect that, and then in May or May, they should all come in.
Also present were presidents from the 7 LLGs in Alotau who were in Port Moresby as part of the awareness into the District Development Authority. Merabatulo, National MTV News. District should now be in the process of providing acquittals for DSIP funds from 2014. This is one way of ensuring that these funds are not being mismanaged. National Planning and Monitoring Minister Charles Abel says providing these acquittals provide a check and balance mechanism. So far, less than 10 districts have provided acquittals for 2014.
I encourage all of our good members of Parliament, which I know many of them are putting the paperwork together. Some have already acquitted, and we just need to encourage doing the right thing in terms of paperwork and reporting back to the public and our people what is actually happening with the money.
A coconut think tank has called on the coconut industry to maintain the quality PNG has to grow and offer to the world market. Executive Director of Asia Pacific Coconut Community Secretariat, Uron Salum, says maintaining quality is key to growth and sustainability in the sector. He wants proper information to be disseminated to farmers by key agencies involved in the coconut industry. On news in the Pacific, Samoan Prime Minister Tuilaipa Malielegaoi has condemned Fiji Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama's decision not to attend the Pacific Islands Forum this September, while Australia and New Zealand remain partners. Fiji's Foreign Affairs Minister Ratu Inoke Kambombola told Australian officials in early April that either Australia or New Zealand should withdraw their full membership from the forum. Alana Lay with this report.
Recently elected Fiji Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama said Australia and New Zealand should instead shift their status to observers or development partners. Samoa Prime Minister Tuilaipa Malielegaoi dismissed the idea as nonsense, mocking Bainimarama's military background and referring to the poor economic status of the forum's 14 members, saying Australia and New Zealand's funding role is critical to the forum's agendas. The Samoan PM called for the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat to be moved out of Fiji, and wants that to be an agenda of the forum meeting in September here in PNG. In a statement last week, he said,
If Bainimarama is serious with his plan not to come in, he must formally inform the president of the forum of his government's intention through the Secretary General of the forum, and leaders must then decide at the forthcoming meeting in Papua New Guinea to move the forum secretariat out of Fiji. That is the issue leaders must discuss at its next forum meeting in PNG.
Last week, the Fiji PM labelled Malia Lagawi as a lapdog and criticised Australia and New Zealand's leadership and implementation of commitments to climate change. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, this year's forum chair, spoke out on Fiji's standpoint last November, telling Radio Australia,
We must make sure that we don't forget that we all live in the same region, and Australia and New Zealand are very much part of that region. But Pacific countries also need to trade with the growing influence in Asia to deal with India and China as the two biggest economies in that region.
Bainimarama told the ABC that Australia and New Zealand are not really part of the Pacific, saying Fiji has had to look to countries like China, India and Russia instead. While O'Neill has also agreed on Pacific engagement with India and China, he said Pacific nations should not neglect their traditional ties with Australia and New Zealand.
We need to stay engaged and in line with what we are trying to achieve in terms of making sure our people take advantage of the opportunities that are available to us.
Alana Lay, MTV World News.
You're watching National MTV News. Capital Rugby Union kicks off its season. Stay tuned for that after the break with Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The outrigger paddles of the Konidobu Canoe Club 3K held their corporate Va'a Challenge today at Ella Beach with 20 teams from corporate organizations. The teams underwent intensive training prior to the event to ensure its success. The competition started with the water sports before the paddles, and they're set for the qualifying teams to challenge themselves in the cup, plate and bowl finals.
The annual Corporate Canoe Festival saw 20 teams competed with little to spare under the scorching heat of Port Moresby's sun. The tournament comprises of 3 divisions with 250-meter sprint challenge of mixed crews.
The Corporate Va'a Challenge, and over the past 2 weeks we've been able to have registered 20 teams that have participated today for the 250 meters straight sprint course today.
The Cup division is the team with the fastest time of the day. The Plate division, the team with the second fastest time. And the Bowl division, the team with the least fastest. President Melissa Kivung said the tournament started in 2007 and the club tries to host the tournament at least twice a year.
And the club tries to have these twice a year. So we try to have one, we attempt to have one in the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year, towards the end of the year.
She also said this event is a major fundraiser for the club that supports the club every year to purchase new canoes or paddles and maintenance of the canoes. Event or something?
Yes, it's a big fundraising event for the club where through the registrations it supports the revenue for the club where we're able to purchase our canoes or paddles and maintenance for the canoes as well.
The main highlight of the day, the first-timers Aeon took out the cup title with runners-up My House and QBE Insurance finished second and third respectively. The challenge was timely hosted as it will provide insight to non-paddlers of the Va'a sport in the upcoming Pacific Games. Konidobu Canoe Club successfully hosted another corporate canoe challenge here at Ella Beach. Another competition like this will be held later on in the year. Shane Soroya, National MTV Sports.
To Rugby Union now, and the 2015 Capital Rugby Union kicked off its 7th challenge today. 18 men's and 10 women's teams took part in round 1 at the Taurama Barracks. Rugby Union is one of the codes that has had to secure an alternative venue after Bissini is undergoing construction for the Pacific Games. This 7th challenge kicks off the Rugby Union season for Port Moresby.
After 8 months, the Capital Rugby Union season kicked off round 1 of its 7th challenge today. Securing an alternative venue has caused a slight delay in conducting this year's season. Tauranga Barracks will now host the season's duration until after the Pacific Games. The Sevens concept has sparked much interest in outside centres as in Port Moresby and sees the emergence of new clubs every year. Tauranga Diggers, McGregor and Fly took on Capital Rugby Union seeded clubs respectively. The Sevens Challenge will run for the next 3 Saturdays at Tauranga Barracks, with the 15th off-season to kick off on the 6th of June. Pacific Games on the 25th of July. Scholar Sengi, National, EMTV Sports.
To Rugby League now, and the Digital Cup finally returns to Port Moresby. The Port Moresby Vipers and Gulf Isapia were forced to play all the matches away due to the construction of the Lloyd Robson Oval last year. Mara Barracks Oval has been prepared to cater for the big match tomorrow. To ensure security, defence and police personnel will be deployed at the venue. The Vipers take on Gulf Isapia at 3 p.m. on Sunday. And that's all we have for Trukai Sports tonight. We'll bring you the weather details up next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Let's take a look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby, evening showers with possible thunderstorms. Daru, you can expect brief evening showers for Kerma, and late evening showers for Popondetta and Alatau. In the Momasa region, Lei Medang and Vanimo, you can expect brief showers and fine weather for Wewak. Over to the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, you can expect brief showers. A few showers expected for Kaviang and Kimbe, and showers and thunderstorms expected in Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka. And in the Highlands region, evening showers and morning fog expected in all major centres. And that has been the news, sports and weather from all of us here. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.